Imagine you wake up one morning and your country has been taken over by a military dictatorship. Most people would panic or stress-eat snack foods, but Myanmar's young people? They basically said, fine, if the government won't tell the truth, we'll build our own CIA. Today we're breaking down how ordinary Gen Z activists built a nationwide intelligence apparatus. Yes, actual spy stuff that ended up countering the junta's surveillance machine. And yes, they did it with smartphones, scooters, and a whole lot of stubbornness. When the 2021 military coup hit, the dictatorship cut off the internet, banned journalists, arrested anyone who could spell the word freedom, and pumped out propaganda like it was a competitive sport. So, young people stepped up. Myanmar's Gen Z was raised on smartphones, Facebook, and memes, and could dodge government censorship like it was Mario Kart. They already had the perfect skill set to build a crowdsourced intelligence network. You know that moment when your grandparents ask you how Wi-Fi works? Yeah, the generals had that energy. OSINT, Open Source Intelligence. That's basically stalking the military, but for democracy. Thousands of young volunteers did things like film troop movements from their windows, track military convoys with nothing but motorbikes and courage, log helicopter takeoff times like they were plane spotters but traumatized, use Google Earth to predict where troops might go next, follow tail numbers on jets to warn villages of incoming airstrikes. All this raw information got funneled into Telegram channels, PDFs, and the shadow government. Basically, the military couldn't sneeze without someone uploading it to a map. Next, encryption. Because nothing says youth movement like juggling 7 messaging apps that all auto-delete at different times. Young activists use Signal, Telegram, Briar, and Mesh networks, and since VPNs were banned, they were disguised as weather apps, calculators, and probably even Minecraft if needed. They also used rotating passwords, burner SIM cards, and more compartmentalization than your average Tupperware set after your favorite Burmese meal. Since the military liked to shut off the internet, the youth said, "We'll just build our own mini-internet." Let's talk about recon teams. This is where it gets cinematic. Young recon teams patrolled cities disguised as food delivery riders, market vendors, and random teenagers loitering, nature's camouflage. They tracked police patrol routes, undercover officers, military administrators, which checkpoints were corrupt, dangerous, or slow. Meanwhile, in rural areas, farmers tracked troop numbers, monks became lookouts, teachers ran student spotter networks, and everyone knew someone with binoculars. Also, defectors from the military or government messaged activists like, "Hey, I hate my boss too. Here's his schedule." Let's talk about data analysis hubs. This is where the nerds became heroes. Young coders and analysts created literal data hubs to geotag troop movements, verify timestamps, track artillery patterns, build pattern-of-life charts on military units, tag human rights violations for international investigators, and predict raids like weather forecasts. You know how every group project has that one person who organizes the Google Drive? Yeah, imagine that person, but they're coordinating intelligence for a nationwide resistance. Let's talk about early warning networks. When a scout saw a convoy rolling out or a helicopter taking off, young people blasted warnings via Facebook groups, SMS trees, Telegram alerts, walkie-talkie apps. These were literal neighborhood sirens, and it saved thousands of lives. Villages were able to evacuate before troops arrived, medics positioned themselves in advance, and defense forces prepared ambushes or hid weapons. It was like a tornado alert system, but for avoiding military atrocities. The wild thing? This parallel intelligence network was often better than what the military had. Why? Because decentralized beats rigid. The youth used cell networks, which were highly flexible and not easy to shut down. More tech-savvy. A 19-year-old with a VPN is more competent than a 60-year-old general trying to close a pop-up ad. Stronger trust networks. Student unions, villages, monks, underground classes, they all linked up. Zero corruption. Youth volunteers didn't take bribes. Junta officers, well, let's just say their track record is spotted. By late 2022, this youth-built intelligence apparatus helped plan resistance operations, documented war crimes, predicted troop movements, and undermined the junta's ability to rule. It became the digital backbone of the democracy movement. These young people in Myanmar adopted techniques developed for resistance in earlier conflicts to their own unique circumstances, they provide a template and inspiration for future resistance movements. At this moment, it is estimated that over 90,000 deaths related to the coup have occurred since 2021. That's 90,000 preventable deaths. So a few wealthy government officials can have an extra boat or whatever. Enjoy your fucking boat. Let's give a thumbs up to all the Myanmar youth whose vision and commitment to a better Myanmar shows that goodness and democracy is alive and well, despite being artificially suppressed.